Okay, here's the problem you start with. I think what you have written and what you sent me must be like connect solutions. So I'm going to solve the same problem, but I'm going to go about it a different way. And I just see where I wrote this down. I wrote pH, and you actually have 4.03 for the pH. Okay? So it's just really in solving for x. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4.74 from both sides. Okay? And so 4.03 minus 4.74 is negative 0.71 is equal to the log of 0.8 minus x divided by 1.4 plus x. Okay? Now, in order to get rid of the log on both sides, we have to take the inverse log, right? And the inverse log is 10 to the x. Now, you're used to doing this on your pH calculation, right? When you go like pH is negative log of H. And therefore, if I give you a pH of 2.73, to figure out what H is, you say 2 raised to the negative 2.73. Okay? Now, the reason you're raising it to the negative is because of this negative right here. What we have here, we're not going to have to do that. We're not going to put a negative there. It's negative because it's in the problem. So we're going to take the inverse log of both sides. When we take the inverse log of this side, that gets rid of the log. 0.8 minus x divided by 1.4 plus x. When we take the inverse log of this side, that is 10 raised to the negative 0.71. Again, it's a negative because the negative's there. Typically, when you're taking an inverse log, you don't necessarily have a negative. Okay. When I do that, I get 0.19498, etc. Okay, now from here, it's algebra, right? I'm going to cross multiply. 0.1948 times 1.4 is 0.273. And I'm going to have that because I got to distribute it, right? So it's plus 0.1948x is equal to 0.8 minus x. So now I'm combining like terms and moving all my x's to one side. Add x, add x. I can't scroll, so I'm going to have to just write it real small up here. 1.1948x is equal to, I'm going to subtract, Andrew, it's late in the day. I keep putting the decimal in the wrong place. I'm going to subtract 0.273 from both sides. 0.8 minus 0.273. And I'll get 0.527. And I'm going to divide out to solve for x. And I get that x is 0.44. Okay? It's just connect is taking the inverse log earlier than I am, and that's what it is. I hope that helps.